The Almost Perfect Podcast. Welcome to the Almost Perfect Podcast, a celebration of fuck-ups, failures, and falling flat on your face. This is a podcast that believes you can learn from experience, but that experience doesn't have to be your own. Hi, I'm Bob Perfect, and I'm a functional fuck-up. Let's learn from somebody else's mistakes. And today we're learning from two people. Yes, two people once again. We're doing Thirdfloor and Rhea Blek, who are two wonderful musicians straight out of the 031. And yeah, man, we had a wonderful chat about creativity, art, music, life, just all the things, man. Manifesting destiny and a whole host of just, interesting things that are quite different to the way I see the world necessarily and the way that I work. Like Thirdfloor frustrates me sometimes because of how confident he is and how like headstrong and like he's just like I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna do the thing. This is the thing I'm doing, and then that's gonna happen, and it's like it. And I'm just like, but how do you know? And he's like, I know, and then it happens, and I'm just like, I wish I had, your confidence in yourself, essentially. Because I'm like, I'm going to do this thing, and I pray to God. And I'm an atheist, so that makes it awkward. But I'm like, I pray to God that this thing works. And, quite often it works. Like this little thing that we're doing here seems to be working. It's growing bit by bit, and people seem to be enjoying the Almost Perfect podcast. And if you are one of the people who are listening to this for the first time, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all those things. I would appreciate it if you went over to the podcasting app that you are listening to this on and you hit the subscribe button. That would be very cool. If you're on social media at the moment, maybe you saw this on Twitter, maybe you saw this on Facebook, hit that like button. That would be cool. Maybe give it a little follow, a share, all those things, all those buttons. Hell, even leave a comment. And I would be super appreciative. I'm also incredibly appreciative of the patrons over on patreon.com/almostperfect. Because of them, we're going to be getting merch done for the Almost Perfect podcast. Coming in May, I'm going to be making some Almost Perfect mugs. And if you are a patron, you will be getting one of those mugs sent straight to your mailbox. So that's fucking exciting, man. That's fucking cool. I'm super grateful for everyone who has chipped in, some money. Some people have put in quite a lot of money. Some people, are putting in a little bit, and it all helps so much. It all like adds up every single month. I've been saving that money essentially. So if you want, maybe you guys don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about here, but patreon.com is this thing where you can subscribe to, content creators, essentially people who are making art and content, but stuff that you can't really sell. Like, I can't really sell this podcast to you, and I don't want to necessarily get advertisers involved. I hate that whole fucking shit, and would prefer to keep this non-advertisery, other than for the Patreon, I guess. But that's the vibe. Like, I don't necessarily want to have to approach sponsors and advertisers and that. We have had on here before. I mean, I've given away a whole case of beer, and if I can do stuff like that, like if I can work with sponsors and it can be cool things that I can give the audience, then that's rad. But in general, this is a listener-supported podcast. This is supported by you guys, the listeners, and I greatly appreciate that because, we're getting some merch, and I have just improved this rig a little bit better. I've got another microphone and some new headphones now, and you will notice that difference next week with the episode that I did yesterday. I had a wonderful interview with someone. I'm not going to tell you just yet who it is, but that's going to come out next week, and the sound's going to be back to how it was in the beginning. We took a little bit of a detour. Unfortunately, one of my microphones broke midway through last year, and so we've been recording straight directly off the Zoom recorder, and that's led to some unique sound quality issues. And I'm just grateful to be back. I'm talking to you right now through a Shure SM58, and I know that's not like a good podcasting mic technically or whatever, but it's the fucking golden standard in microphones, and I know that if I drop this mic, it's just gonna bounce back up into my hand and probably sound even better than it did before. And I want something durable And yeah, the Shure SM58 is one of those things. So thank you to all the patrons over at patreon.com/almostperfect. I'm putting your money to good use, as you can see and hear. And I greatly appreciate the fact that not only, like, I can't believe that so many people listen to this podcast every week now. It's constantly growing. People are sharing things. People are really like getting involved. It's becoming more and more of a thing, and it's blowing me away. And like, just that so many people are listening to it and getting stuff out of it is fucking cool. But that people are willing to actually, put their hard-earned money into this project that, I'm working my fucking ass off on. I'm working so hard on this thing, but I don't expect anything out of it. I'm hoping it grows. I'm hoping I make some money out of this over time. But yeah, I definitely don't expect anything, and I'm super grateful for all of you who have decided that, you know what, I'm gonna give the Bob a beer a month. Because that's the lowest tier. It's the buy Bob a beer and buy Bob a banky tier. It's the $1 tier and the $5 tiers. And you do get stuff out of it. Sometimes I have competitions and I give stuff away. You can recommend guests and stuff. You can ask guest questions. There's a whole host of benefits, and I am thinking of other things to do for that, like the mugs. Cool. I feel like that was a long ass chat about Patreon. Sorry about that, but I do need to try and increase the income just a little bit. Considering the whole world is fucking going to shit. And I'm not prepared. I am not doomsday prepared enough. I've been telling people for years, I've been like, yo, you need to make sure you have a safe with like 10K in cash, a handgun, and a passport at all times. And now I don't have any of those things. Not even the fucking safe. And if you could help a little bit with that, go over to patreon.com/almostperfect. Or if you've just got a handgun, just, send that to me. That could be cool. That could be useful. And then I can get the money myself. Cool. So that's everything I needed to tell you, I guess. You can go to almost_podcast and follow us on Twitter. You can go to Facebook at the Almost Perfect Podcast. And we are on Instagram, and I've been posting content to there now because we've now finally, I say we, it's actually you guys, the producers, and me, I work for you, I guess. So I'm the one doing the things, and you guys are the ones paying for it. And where was I with that? We here at the Almost Perfect Podcast are creating audiograms and putting them out onto the social medias now. So go over to Instagram.com/almostperfectpodcast, I think. And that should work out just fine. Or just go into your Instagram app and search for Almost Perfect Podcast. And you can find some new content over there that will be coming out pretty much daily for the next 60 odd days. Because I'm doing one audiogram per episode so far. Cool. Other than that, we are going to get into this podcast now. Like I said, I've got a lot of love. Like, I've got a long history with Robin Thirdfloor. I mean, I've booked him for gigs back in the day for Outland Festival. He played my birthday once with Moonchild and Elo as part of the Post tour. And, I've booked him for other gigs. He slept in my house a few times. So we've got a relationship. We've chatted a lot over the years. He's come to me for advice and, just bounced ideas off of me. And Rhea's someone who I didn't know as well, but I've admired her from afar for a while. I wrote about her third wave EP a while. I think it was last year for Bubblegum Club. I really enjoyed her EP, and I'm looking forward to seeing the kind of music that she continues to create. I don't think she's quite you'll hear in this conversation. Robin's got this vibe. He's like, I'm doing this thing. I know what I'm doing for the next 10 years kind of thing. Whereas Rhea's not too certain. She knows where she wants to be at the end, but she's not too certain how she's going to get there. And I think creatively that could lead to some interesting things, especially considering how talented she is. It means she's going to create a diverse range of music. And that's going to be fun to hear. So before you hear the music, or maybe go listen to their music first, hit pause on this, go listen to Robin Thirdfloor, go listen to Rhea Blek, and then come back and listen to this. Or you can do that after the podcast, because here it comes. It's the Almost Perfect Podcast with Robin Thirdfloor and Rhea Blek. Cool. So how are you living? Robin Thirdfloor, Rhea Blek, SMP wear, reveal wear. How are you?
We're good. How are you?
Good.
We're good.
Yeah, like I was saying just now, I feel like a bit of an idiot because this is the second time we're having a conversation together. With the headphones on, with it sounding good. This time though, the red light is actually on.
Oh my gosh, thank you. I was about to ask.
Yeah. So we've had a conversation yesterday. We're gonna have a similar but different one today because I fucked up a little bit. But the cool thing is we actually get to chat a little bit about last night. You guys played at First Thursdays at the Charlatan.
For sure. Yeah.
I've seen some Instagram stories. You guys messaged fairly late-ish in the morning today.
Yes.
So how was it?
It was amazing. It was really nice and packed. It was just such a great energy. Everyone was just so happy and so supportive and just so interactive with us. And for me, I think even Roots Up can say that probably that First Thursday is in their top 5.
Okay.
That crowd was amazing, and everyone had fun. Everyone had, even the bartenders at Charlatan, they were just,
but they're always having a good time.
They're always having a good time.
They're probably having a better time than you are half the time. Surely they're waiting for a drink.
Always late.
It was great. How was it for you?
Yeah, it was great.
A lot of fans in the house or a lot of new people? What was the vibe like?
New people as well. I saw a lot of new people.
Yeah, for me it was new people, but also like a lot of people that I don't know personally, but I know on social media.
Yeah.
Kind of like, so it was like, hey, I'm the guy who said this on your comment the other day. I'm like, what? Oh, cool. Hi.
putting faces.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool, and also just like experiencing to perform at home, because like Durban's home, and have like people sing along, bro. Like you get that
people knowing the words, like
bro. It was crazy, bro. Like it was mad crazy, and it just reminded me why I also love doing this.
Because you can actually see the impact you're having, like when people are like rapping your lyrics back and they're meaningful lyrics, and it's like they're rapping them back to you in the same way like that, like
I put them out
exactly, like they're feeling it and they're like hands up, just like
bro, best feeling in the world, bro. Best feeling in the world.
And for yourself, similar situations?
Totally. I was like pretty early. It was like at 8:30, and usually like no one's drunk yet.
No.
So it's quite hard.
You've got to get
the crowd going.
Yeah.
But it was pretty fun. People were really receptive. We danced. We had a good energy. We had a good vibe. They did sing along to my songs too. It was pretty fun. I had a lot of fun on stage, and also just me being able to get my message out there about people having hate against the LGBTQIA community, and them being receptive about that as well and supportive. It was just really fun. It was really, really fun.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a really hectic time recently when it comes to the LGBTQA community in Durban. I know you lost a friend recently to violence, and you actually recently put out a video, I'm a Love Back, that has same-sex love in it. It's obviously something that's very important to you, right?
It is. It really is important. I don't understand how people just want to judge, want to control, want to be in people's way of who they want to be and who they are, and I'm touched by that, because I feel like there have been certain times in life where people have told me, no, you can't color your hair, no, you can't dress up like that, no, you can't do that, you just gotta stick by the rules and be this way, and it's just like, I have one life. I'm supposed to like do whatever I want to do, and you can't be in the way of that. And why are you in the way of that? Like, why do you care? Like, why aren't you focused on your life and living how you want to live, and instead of getting, getting in the way of mine? So I really want to be one of those people who uses my platform to put that message out there and to let people know that this is how the world is. Just accept it and live your life.
Yeah, people are different.
Yes.
But we live in a society that does just want us to constantly conform to its norms, even when, those norms are alternative norms sometimes, because alternative culture becomes the culture, and then those norms become another way of gatekeeping people and stuff. And it's just in general, it's one of those things that, like, I hate about society is that we're intrinsically made like that to, like, a group with people who are similar to us and then to other people who aren't. And that's what creates so much of the conflict that we have. And it's a constant conflict. And it's just like, if you can get past your own ego and psychology a bit and just try and understand that, like, someone else's life doesn't necessarily affect you if you just...
It's like, you can live.
Yeah, two dudes kissing each other has got fuck all to do with you. How is it bugging you? Like
why aren't you focused on yours? Just
nobody's kissing you. Like, there's is that the problem? Are you jealous that
maybe deep down that's the problem?
I think it could also be resentment. A lot of the time, people just resent the fact that others are living their truths.
Yes.
And other people are not. Do you think that's the case?
Yeah, like, so some people might be like, I'm conforming to society.
Why aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm doing, things the right way. Life isn't quite going right for me. And now I see, this flamboyant guy wearing a dress and, like, with bright
lipstick.
Yeah.
Living their best life, and you just don't get it. You wear your grey pants and suit, and you're stressed out. Life is not as happy and sunny.
Yeah, man. It's... And I guess, like, both of you create music because you've been outsiders. Just by listening to your music, that's something, I've picked up. Like,
for sure.
Even just from sounds Empty Pockets make. But, like, Tubotela, and then now you're working on a new thing. You want to talk about it?
Yeah. So it's from sounds Empty Pockets make, Potela, Zitande, and now I'm working on my album, my debut album, Cheese Boy.
Cheese Boy, yeah. So clearly you've probably been called a cheese boy once or twice in your life.
Not once or twice, bro. Like, add a couple of zeros to those numbers, maybe, you get the exact number of, like, how many times I've been called that.
Why though?
I guess it's because I was born and raised in the township, right? In Mlaz. But I used to go to a school out of town. Yeah, well, and that caused, like, a big disconnect with in my environment, my immediate environment, which was Mlaz, but also in the environment that I was schooling in. It was like, oh, flip, this guy is not from here. He's from there, and so it was always just like a thing of, especially just from the immediate environment side,
So you were being othered immediately, essentially, because you weren't a part of your culture at home, essentially. You would have it like, when you're there, but then when you're not there, you're a part of a different culture, and so that creates a disconnect.
For sure. In myself, and also just like with my surroundings as well, So I've always just wanted to speak for those people, because I feel like there's quite a lot of those people, who are like that and are, going through that, especially just post-apartheid. So, yeah, it's just been that. So, my whole career, in a way, I've just been trying to, like, shed light on those issues. With Bodela, even the whole term and owning it, and making it a thing whereby people can't really shy.
So what does Patella mean?
It means exactly the same thing. And Misfit. So basically it's just me being like owning those names, I owned Bodela. Now I actually want to own that Cheese Boy.
It's almost like B-Rabbits in the like finals of the rap battle where he's like, here's what's all wrong with me. You can't call me this anymore.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. That's just the thing for me. That was the one thing that was always just like a big part of my life, and which was just like a thing that I needed to address. And I've become so confident in seeing other people who were like the same. It's like, oh, flip. So this is actually not just me, but it's like a thing that other people are going through also, you know. So I was just like, oh, okay. Let me just continue. Let me continue shedding light, you know, about it, you know, and continue also digging deep within myself to find out like how it's affected me, because I have so many stories about it, you know, and creatively putting it into the music so people out there can actually be like, oh, flip, I can relate. This has happened to me. And this has
I guess that's something people don't think about when it comes to when they listen to music and like they do relate to it and stuff. They might not necessarily think about how much you are thinking about your own life experiences and having to go through painful stuff, I guess, as well. Like, you know, to come up with lyrics that hit, you know, like that someone goes, holy shit, that's my exact experience. And it's because you're actually going back into your past and like speaking of experiences you had. Do you find it can be a painful experience? Or is it more
the painful
like
experience? Yeah, I feel like that's the thing. Like the painful experience is gone. Now, like going back, you are healing in a way, you know, and sort of like, as you said, like relief. It's like, okay, now I'm bringing it to light. And then I'm relieving myself of this thing that has been weighing so hard on me, you know, as a person. So yeah, I don't feel like it's painful when I put it in the music. I feel like every time when I put something in the music, because
it's cathartic.
Yeah, you know, because even like with the music, there's so many songs that will never see the light of day.
Yeah. That you just written, like...
Yeah, bro, like... well, I've never shared this before, but like, there's a song called Rolling Stone that I released a while ago.
Yes.
There was supposed to be a project that was supposed to be dropped around that time, which had like that vibe.
Okay,
you
like
know?
Daddy Issues, like...
well, yeah, but like...
Daddy Issues, the EP.
You know, it was basically like a very dark project.
Yeah.
And then I decided like, during the mix, I was like, nah, we're not going to go ahead with this, you know, and I was like, it was just music for me to get it out of, you know, myself.
Out of your system.
Yeah,
it's not to be shared with other people.
Yeah, it's not a thing that I'd want, you know, pissed off my then label, you know, pissed them off for real, like, you know, it was a thing like, how, you know, but like, yeah, for me, it gives me relief. To put it on in the music gives me a lot of relief, bro.
I feel like every artist can also say that, like, just reliving those experiences is like a form of therapy for us. It's like we get to release whatever we were feeling or however we wanted to say or how we acted in that space and in that place. And it's I really think that most can say like, being a musician and getting to write is like, there's a little bit of therapy in that.
You feel like you get to know yourself better through it?
Yes, definitely. Like for one, I know Kehlani, every time like she is going through like a situation in her life, because like now recently she just broke up with YG because he cheated on her.
Of course he did.
So it was so funny because on Valentine's Day, they dropped a song together, and then next week she dropped another song talking about the breakup. So I was just like, she really uses this platform to just like say whatever she wants to say and like put it out there to the world and, you know, share those experiences with us so we can also, you know, if we were going through that as well, we can find this song and
But you never worried about putting yourself out like that?
No. It's a decision you have to make first when you like, I want to do music, because you can't be writing and singing about things that aren't you and you don't relate to, or aren't stories that come from you. Like, I know like when you're coming up as a rapper, you're like, yeah, I'm riding around, gold chains, I'm rich and everything, and you're not there yet. But eventually you start talking about real stuff and stuff that comes from you.
Yeah.
So
I also just kind of feel like as much as that is like also a case, but like there's different reasons why people write.
Yeah.
You know, and I've sort of like discovered this, I think a couple of months ago, you know, that not everybody writes from their perspective.
Oh no, like people put themselves in other people's perspective.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, so look at Kendrick, like prime example. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So with the riding around in the Ferrari and wah 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 type of raps or, you know, music, I feel like, because I was watching these interviews.
I mean, not everyone in NWA was actually a gangster.
See, you know, so I was watching this interview about rappers, and they were talking about the law of attraction, and Young Thug mentioned something there, and he was like, he's always used his raps to manifest.
Okay.
Oh. So talking about being in a like work like he wants to be in one.
Okay.
And he said he made an example. He was like he on this one song he rapped about him being in a red Ferrari with like chains on all his fingers, and he didn't really have money at that time, but like I think a year or two after that he was in Miami in a red Ferrari with like chains, rings on all his fingers.
I need to start rapping about pending rent? I got my rent money due.
Because you know what happened.
I paid it to you.
Yeah, you know, and he was explaining it, bro. Like it's something that's quite serious, because he was saying that he even, you know, avoids rapping about going to jail. Because a lot of people rap about going to jail and they actually go to jail.
Wow, but it's also because they're like, I killed that guy on Tuesday, and I'm going to jail on Thursday.
You know,
I'm gonna kill 25 guys in jail.
Yeah, because have you even noticed that there's people who somehow rap about they're dead and actually die that way?
Like Mac Miller for me.
Well, yeah, like quite a few people that's happened to. But also, when you're rapping about getting shot, like that's a pretty high probability. Like if you're in certain situations, you know, if you're rolling around with gangbangers and you're busy doing drive-bys, chances are you might get shot.
But like, what if that's not your reality, but then it becomes your reality? You know.
Well, that's actually. I mean, there are cases for that has happened. Like, you know, people pretending to be gangsters have been caught up and stuff, and
you know,
you're actually quite big with the law of attraction stuff.
For sure.
What got you into it?
I think for me, it's when I realized that I could say things and then they could happen. You know, little things. You know, like little things where I could be like, hey, for this test, I'm gonna get 70, you know, just put like not even 70, like 60, and put like a very low, and I would get that. I was like, wait, so if I could
how
get
much did you study?
You know?
Did you just say that and get 60%?
I did study,
that part.
you know, but it's just like,
that part's also the important part.
For sure, but like little things whereby like I'd say something and I'd be like, you know, I want to work with that person. And not so long after that, you know, I work with that person.
And for yourself?
All these things.
Are you on a similar wavelength or?
I don't know.
Because yesterday you were talking about, like, you know, you see yourself being a superstar and that.
Yes. For me, I think how I learned it was there's a Zulu saying that says, which can you translate it for me?
It's actually ulim which is the tongue creates. It has the ability to create realities, basically.
Speaking it into existence.
Exactly.
So ever since then, I think I got it as that, and I think like I recently learned it's called the law of attraction.
Yeah.
So I definitely
manifesting destiny.
Yes, I definitely do believe in it, but sometimes I get pissed off when like something bad happens, and then I think about that time when I said it would happen.
Yeah, the bad thing would happen.
The bad thing would happen. So
I just find it interesting that like Eastern philosophies found its way into like rap music.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Because
I'm like Wu-Tang Clan, man.
Yeah. Bro, it's crazy. And the thing is, like, I was even telling Rafiri, like, a couple of days ago, I'm just like, I feel like there's so much power that we have, but, like, we don't know that we do have it. You know, it's like slipped on.
Well, I think it's self-doubt is the killer. You know, fear is the killer. Like, fear is the mind killer. But, like, just looking at my own life, like, I know that, like, I hold myself back immensely, like, that I'm capable of so much more, but, like, I'm always worried, like, that it's not going to work or people aren't going to like stuff or whatever it is, you know? And so I don't give stuff my all because then, you know, at least I can have that excuse of, like...
I knew it wasn't going to pop off.
Oh, exactly. And also just being, like, at least I didn't give it my all and failed.
Yeah.
You know? Like
that feeling.
Because when you put your heart into something and, like, it doesn't work, fuck, dude, it's horrible. Like,
but now, you know what my thing? You know, my thing is now, I put my all into things, not because I want it to just happen. You know, I do want it to happen, but I'm also cool with it not happening.
Yeah.
Because I know. The process in itself for me is something that I also admire. Yeah. You know, a lot of people admire the results. It's like you put in the results and you put in the work because you love the results. You know, I want to be a billionaire, bro. But and then that's something that I want to be. You know we're gonna guillotine you, right? Pardon? Like we're gonna guillotine you. Like, if you become a billionaire. Like, I want to be a billionaire. You know, we're gonna have enemies, I'm afraid.
Oh my gosh.
It's cool, bro. It's cool. You know, but like, as much as I want the billion, it wouldn't make me happy if I got it tomorrow.
Well, no, like that's not. I mean, that's a goal, but like it's not the point. Like
exactly. Then what's the point if I get it tomorrow? Like I actually want the process.
There was no journey. There was no.
Exactly. I wanna be seen as the guy who made it from this point to this point to this point to this point and have a story, you know, somehow be inspired, you know, have that fascinates me because I feel like that's something that people don't really put a lot of like emphasis on, the actual process of it.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, like if I got it tomorrow, bro, it was just like I don't know. Like it would be such a mind fuck. You know, it's like whoa.
I don't know, like if I won the lotto tomorrow, like I would be able to do so many cool things. Like
but that's
the thing. For me, it would just be Project Silly. Let's go. Like all the things that because I've got lots of projects like in the back burner, you know, for when I've got money. These are things I can do. Like
but now, do you understand that it will be so overwhelming that you might not even do one of them and finish them?
Possibly. Like
do you know that?
Yeah, because you can do anything. So when do you start?
Yeah, and then essentially you might not do anything.
There is that possibility. I mean, also, is that the worst thing ever? Like, just being able to just chill.
I just won the lotto and I just want to chill. I want to just live.
Like, that's like, I don't want to be a billionaire. I literally just would like my rent covered every month. And like, you know, have some healthy food. So I'm in that situation now. I feel pretty good. Like
I just want to be a billionaire, bro. I want to have.
So like, if you got a
billion, but what is the why? Why do you want to be a billionaire? What is the appeal to that?
The appeal. So basically, this is what I believe, man. I believe with more you can do more.
Sure, but if you're a billionaire, that's a billion people who don't have like $1 essentially or a rand.
Well, yeah, but then how much money do billionaires give away?
Not enough. Like that's the problem. Like millionaires can do more. Well, I would say like a billionaire is sitting on all that money. So like they actually showed like on online like how different like the scale is.
It's crazy.
$1 billion of anything is just too much. Like you just don't need that much, and it creates a resource like deficiency. So if you're gonna be a billionaire, there's got to be poor people.
Wait, can I ask you?
But if you want to be a multi-millionaire who gives away lots of money all the time, that seems fine.
Can I ask you a question though? Like, how many people do billionaires employ?
It depends, but they don't. Here's the actual answer to your. Well, not the answer to your question, but here's the real thing with that question. they only got that billion because they underpaid those people. Those people made that money for them.
That's a reality. You're gonna have to.
You have to exploit people. You can't make $1 billion or R1 billion in profits without undercutting fucking everyone constantly. Everyone who works for you is getting too little if you're a billionaire.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I just feel like
even the government does it to us. So.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah. Let's just agree to disagree.
Hey, dude, that's totally fine. Like, I'm just like, I would like to have more money. I definitely don't want to have too much money. Like, because I do have moral issues with that. But that's just like also because like I read Che Guevara when I was young. So I've always like just be this little commie bastard. Oh man. So last night was fucking dope, but like. It must be a weird one because Durban hasn't always been the best shows. Like,
for sure.
Like, it's been a bit of a roller coaster ride here. How do you guys deal with that? Like, you know, emotionally? Like, do you know when you're going to gig, like, if it's going to be a good one or not? Or, like, are you worried about those sorts of things? Because, you know, like, doing gigs in Durban there is a lot of uncertainty a lot of the time. Even last night, you know, which popped off, could have not, you know? Like, you never really know, like, if it's going to be an absolute banger kind of thing. Like, there's always going to be people at First Thursdays, but not necessarily on the scale of last night.
You know, I kind of like realized like the more popular you get, maybe the more people and the more crowd you can pull. Because I feel like Durban has the most honest crowd. Like, if you're not good, they're not going to come out. They want quality and they want something that's really going to get them out of that couch, out of that bed, to be there and enjoy and be in that space. So, if the more you keep improving on your brand and on your performance, on your work, I think the better the crowd it'll be, and the more people will want to be in that space and see your performances.
So it's just like a process of growth.
It's growth.
Because I mean, I'm sure, like, I know, like, I've seen you to small crowds before, and like we've discussed it, and like, you know, sometimes it's okay because it's cool that there's still people there, and other times it's disheartening because it's like I thought I was better than this, you know. I thought people like me, you know. I thought, and I know this as a comedian when I'm performing to like 5 people, and I'm just like, I've got 2,000 followers on Twitter.
Like at least 100 of you could have come.
But also, you know what I've realized with just shows, because after like the tour that I organized last year, I realized that people are emotional beings, bro. Like people value you, and you add some sort of value because you need to think about this. Like, we live in KZN, so we live in a developing country, in a what I could probably call a developing province.
Yes.
you know. So that's like
so if anyone's driven outside of Durban for half an hour, and even in Durban, you can say we're a developing country or a developing city.
You know. So you gotta realize that people really like put a lot of emphasis on the money they have. You know, it's just like, what am I going to do with
what
this?
What am I going to spend my money on?
What am I going to spend this money on? So you really
kind
need
of why
to be...
we always undercharge, like in Durban.
Like you need to be like really worth it.
It's more of a culture in this city, though. I feel like it's more of a culture. I feel like in Joburg,
people can go to 3 different gigs, like, you know.
Stroll into a gig and like it wasn't planned. Like they just kind of have that freedom.
Yeah, they just stroll in and go to the bar and completely ignore everything that's going on.
But also, like with the Durban crowd, what I've realized is that Durban crowds are not necessarily like Joburg crowds. Like Joburg fans of music go out and look for music. It's like they make the conscious effort of checking music out. I don't know that guy. I want to go.
Yeah, whereas Durbanites will listen to you online, maybe, but like weren't necessarily... I don't know, we're a weird bunch, because I think maybe like people are scared to go to gigs sometimes because they don't know other people, you know, because they've never, like they're not a part of the scene yet. Like, so they listen to they hear your music online. Because I remember like being young and like, you know, that was it. Like I would read Blunt magazine and like read about the Winston and read about Burn and read about all these bands and stuff. And like it took me a while before I eventually went, you know, to the Winston and checked it out and stuff. So I can imagine, you know, there's people out there who are digging your music, listening to it online, and like might see that you've got a gig coming up, but they're like, oh, I don't know anyone going to that. And then they don't necessarily show up.
I've never thought of it that way.
There's a lot of like, that's the thing, like the psychology of like cities and people in cities is always interesting to me, you know, like how it creates culture and that, and like what creates, you know, the scarcity of Durban crowds is always something that's interested me. But these days, things aren't as bad as, like, you know, they've been. Like, I'd say it's kind of at a peak. Well, peaking. Like, you know, more and more gigs are starting to have more and more people. And it's a cool cross-section of society as well, which is rad. We're finally becoming a bit more Joburg-y with the, you know, multiculturalism. Like,
And also, I feel like a lot of, like, Durban people are realizing that what they like from other cities is also here.
It exists here. Like,
you know, even just like with the music in itself, they also have music here that is like the music they might like from someone else in like in other parts of the country or overseas. You know, it's like there is someone who is probably on that same lane.
Well, there's someone doing their own stuff as well. You know, stuff
which you could actually also like, you know, even more because, hey, this person is...
Well, how many, like, you look at how many, like, local acts have come up in the last 10 years by sounding original, you know, essentially. So there is, I guess there is that cool aspect to South African culture at the moment in that it's a weird one, like the commercial versus underground side of things, because you look at underground things, they become commercial. Like Amapiano, you look at Home, you look at like, a lot of those things. So, I mean, you use a little bit of Home, like with your music and that, but are you, like we were chatting yesterday, like you actually want to have like different phases essentially, like in your sounds, because like if you look at sounds that Empty Pockets made, it's completely different to everything you made since. So, what's your plan going forward?
Yeah, for me, I just want to have fun. Like, I grew up sort of like being inspired by guys like Pharrell, you know, Kanye, Kid Cudi, Spook, you know, and all those guys have always been on some new project, new direction. You know, they they're taking you on like a journey type of thing where it's like, oh, flip, there's a new whole aesthetic vibe for this, and I'm actually so excited to see what this person is going to be about. Like, Pharrell has had so many phases of his career. Kanye too.
Kanye, every single album was something different. Spook's just got multiple different projects from Phantasma, but took his own personal stuff. He's been something... He's constantly evolved.
Exactly. So, for me, that's always been a thing, you know, of mine, you know, and I've been fighting it for a while, you know, to be like, okay, cool, now I'm doing it, you know, because sometimes...
Must be a little scary, like, to follow your vision.
I think it's not as scary if you indie, because you call the shots.
Sure, but aren't you worried about it failing?
No, not quite. not quite, you know, because I know the type of people that listen to my music. You know, it's people who are always.
But did you do it 5 years ago though? Like when you were like starting out with this, like, and you were like, I'm gonna like go these different directions and do these things.
But like now, after like releasing the music, like releasing the music, I've realized that even the people who listen to my music, the type of people who listen to my music, are open for me to evolve. You know, they're not on some, hey, this is what you do, so we expect you to do this forever. It's like, hey, this is what you did now. We can't wait to see what you're going to do next.
But do you worry about people then being like, oh, you're just riding waves?
For me, it's never really even a wave thing, because I feel like every time I release something, it's always just live.
Yeah, it's different to
whatever.
how other people are doing it.
Yeah, you know, so for me, it's always like I'm just surfing my own, you know, and whoever is listening to the music at that particular time is being introduced into my world and where my headspace is at, you know. Yeah, and that's just basically it for me. What is the process with you? Let me ask you a question. You know, the same question Bob asked.
Like in terms of sound, like where do you see yourself going? Do you like, you know, sticking within one genre, or do you want to expand into like different eras of Rhea Blek?
If anyone can say, like, right now, I don't have a specific genre that I'm sticking to. I've done Kwaito, I've done R&B, I've done like house-ish music.
Third Wave was a bit neo-soul-y.
Yeah, neo-soul as well. So I don't want to be limited to one genre. I really want to be able to play around as well. And just, this is a personal experience for me as well. I feel like I'd like to get the chance to dabble as much as I can while I'm still alive. So I haven't had any complaints thus far, but like just like one person said, like when I dropped Mona Pansy, which is like kind of like a hip hoppy-ish like song after like Third Wave, and like, bruh, please don't do this whole commercial vibe. Just like, we just don't like you doing that. Just stick to the thing you were doing.
I was like, well, you're the only person who's going to be at my shows then.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm trying to make money off of this. So if we can put a little commercial in there, we definitely will do it.
And also, it's something that you like.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not like someone had a gun, you know, to your head.
Like, make a pop song now. It was like, I like this sound.
Exactly.
Pop. Like, let me explore that. But like, do you see your projects like similarly to some people where it's a vision ahead of like, do you have a roadmap? I'm going to do this kind of album, I'm going to do this kind of EP and stuff.
I don't. Like, for me, like the process of creating, I need to have a beat first.
Okay.
I need to have a beat first and I need to tell me what it's saying. And then usually from the first song, I can kind of like draw an idea of like what I'd like the project to be like. Mm-hmm. So
you're bottom up, like you're top down, and then you're bottom up essentially.
Yeah,
you look at things from over and you plan it and like that, and then you just start building. You just start taking bricks and start putting them, and then you're like,
I did not plan Third Wave at all.
Oh,
it literally,
it's coherent. So it works.
Like. Yeah, it literally. We got into the studio. He played me the first beat, which was Clyde, and it was sounding really dope. And then after that, he played me Terms and Conditions. And then we were like, let's just make it a project. And then he played me Teenage Dreams. And I was like, oh, okay, the common theme here is love. So, yeah, it's a project. Yeah, so I'm not really a planner. It'll happen with the first beat.
Okay.
Happen,
Well, because yesterday we were chatting, and I found out that you've got a BCom in
for sure.
economics,
and
that you were at AFTA for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the BCom helps quite a bit with the planning side of things. I would assume.
For sure, bro. It's always like for me. I'm always just like about the strategic side.
Yeah.
You know, it has to make sense for me, like artistically. You know, with regards to the arts and everything, that's good. But also it has to make sense business-wise. How am I going to sell whatever that I'm going to be selling? You know, and the degree plays that role.
Do you think it's been instrumental in your success so far? Because, like, you haven't just, winged it. You've always had a plan. And you've always,
this is so crazy because you asked that question because... Like, a lot of people always hit my mother up on some, so, one more shimale, you wasted money on the degree. Take him to school because now the degree is just there at home, And, my mother always explains to them and she's like, yo, you guys don't know that music is a business in itself.
Yeah.
He doesn't just go on stage and perform only. There's so many things because he does things on his own, you know, and with his company and all these things. He needs to know what is happening within the business.
Yeah. Is your mom quite supportive?
Now, yeah.
Now that things are working.
Yeah, like now, yeah. Like, at some point she was, but like it was always on some, you know that if things don't work out, you can still get a job, right?
Yeah.
Because you have a degree. Like,
and then that's true though. Like that is like, and that is dope though. That like no one can take that away from you.
Yes.
So it was always like, you know, but I feel like after just like seeing like a lot of things, you know, come out of my music career, like the endorsements, you know, the airplay, you know, here and there, and then she's like,
the plane tickets,
you know, getting a video call from overseas, and I was like, hey, yo, good, you know, it kind of made her, you know, more accepting of the actual.
But at the time, she was a little worried.
Yeah, and also, you know what also helped, because I know my mother's quite religious, so me using emotional, you know, like an emotional angle on some gave me a talent, you know, like God gave me talent. It's God given. We can't say no to that.
It's your gift.
It's my gift, you know. And I think that, you know, hit, you know, because she's very religious. So anything that I come through with like the Bible, it's always going to be like, oh, because you know me now, you know that I'm religious.
You know what? And you know what's weird is like that principle stands true even without the religion there. It's like, you know, even without it being God-given or whatever, it's like, these are your talents. You should be allowed to pursue them.
Exactly.
Like, you know, these are the things that you've been, like,
given.
You know, you can say whatever, given, gifted, blessed with, just dumb fucking luck led us to these points where these are the things that we like and can do. And, you know, we should be allowed to pursue them.
Exactly.
So how was your after experience?
Well, it was quite interesting.
I see you were trying to find some diplomatic words.
Very careful with it, you know. Try to be very careful
with how I approach this question. It was very interesting and a very fruitful and quite like exposing experience. Well, I learned a lot about myself and just learned a lot about after as well. And
you learn much about film?
I did. Okay, I did.
Like wow, like about like yourself, about after. But the one thing that you were there for,
I did. I picked up a lot of that, but I'm not a school person, so I couldn't like see it through. I like to be
practical
in the world. Even though it was a practical college.
it's different when you have to go and work with certain people and like you know, like you're obligated to do a lot of stuff compared to where it's just like, yo, let's just go and create this thing.
Exactly. They were just like things that just got in the way. Cause like sometimes, what happened was when I went into AFDA, the initial plan was to get a degree in music. But it's not like music like playing, it's like musical performance. Because I wanted to use that information for my career. So midway I just realized these people don't know what they're doing, so let me go learn something new. So I joined the film school and I was learning about cinematography. So in the music school, we didn't even get access to the studio because most of the time the film school just like booked it out. So I was just like, what's the whole point of
the music side of
things if I can't even like actually record songs and actually build myself a profile like all the film students are doing and actually get work out of this. And that's when I just realized like, let me just jump the ship and just actually do this by myself. And it's going quite well.
But what did you get out of after that you found actionable?
I did learn quite a lot. In that little music mess, I did learn about performance and I think I learned about performance. I was quite aware of it, but it was nice to also just like get it from like a lecturer and just like a school like a study like a way.
It was affirming.
Not just you busy going, I think this is how it works.
Yes.
Like you've read interviews with celebrities and like you start piecing stuff together about how the industry works.
Exactly.
But until you're in it though, like that's even the thing though, like studying can teach you a lot.
Yeah.
But it can't teach you like what it's like to be on the ground, like in whatever industry it is. Although we were saying yesterday, like it does help a little bit in terms of like terminology and stuff like that. Because for me, like I came into like, you know, being an editor of like a culture website and didn't know any of the terminology for either side of the spectrum, you know, chatting to the artist or chatting on the business side. I'm just speaking English and everyone else is speaking their own fucking language. Sure. So like at least like studying does give you that. It gives you a bit of a foundation.
Yeah.
But nothing can prepare you for actually doing
real
stuff.
World.
Life.
Totally different. But I wouldn't undo it. I wouldn't do it any other way. I prefer it this way. Actually, I actually wanted my mom to give me the money for the degree
and invest in the business.
And invested in my career. Just open up a studio and just start recording and just have my own label. But obviously, you just can't tell your parents that.
Well, if you had known some people at the time, could have done a business plan.
You know, me out. I could have been able to pitch this and it would have made sense.
Because I don't see parents like, you know, just giving you money without like a plan. But if you had to come to them with like, this was my dream, like, it's weird. It depends on people's parents.
But also like
because a degree means so much to parents.
Exactly. Like I'm just gonna go and do music. Like you're not even gonna start like with the backup plan. You just go straight to the music. And
I think also it's just like the time that they were born in.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, they didn't have opportunities.
You know, like my mother didn't believe me when I told her that there are people who get paid to post.
Yeah.
Like she's like, wait, just to post on like social media. I'm like, yeah. She's like, because she doesn't have social media, but she's like, wait, so many people tell me about posts on Facebook and all these things, and they're just busy there with jokes, you know. Yeah. You're telling me there are people. I'm like, yeah, like people get like 5,000 posts or whatever, you know. She's like, it can't make sense to her, you know, that someone can just literally be on their phone and get 5,000.
Well, that's even the thing. It's like, it's not even just like, you know, the apartheid barriers. It's the technology. It's the culture on a whole different level. So it's not even just you have more opportunities. It's the kinds of opportunities that exist are so different than have ever existed before. So
exactly.
Parents, I wouldn't even see this happening either. People getting paid to post, like the whole influencer thing, like
people get paid to play games.
Yeah,
exactly. Like
people get paid to eat food on YouTube.
Like, exactly. Like there are there's so many insane ways to like make like things work.
But here's the thing also that I just realized, and I keep educating people about it every time the conversation comes up, you know, because I'm in the township like a lot, you know, so we'll be sitting and having a conversation, and someone will bring up the unemployment chat, you know, and we'll be on some there's no jobs and blah 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 blah, you know, and some people might blame it on like technology and say like a lot of things that were previously done by humans are now done by machines, and machines can get them done quicker and whatever, you know. And I'm like,
I mean, that is displacements, but it's not.
Yeah, like I'm like, as much as that's a thing, you know, because I'm not going to totally disregard what you're saying.
Obviously, but society needs to adapt, evolve, continue. Like there's new opportunities.
Yeah, that's what I tell them. Like there's new opportunities.
That technology has given you a new way to do something.
Exactly. And I tell them about the posting and all these things. It's like, they're like, what? There's things like that. I'm like, yeah, you can literally do this on your phone. And not even in front of a computer, just like on your phone. You have a smartphone, don't you? Yes. Oh, you can actually do this and this and this.
Documenting different parts of life, like, you know, like, that's the thing, you could become like a township influencer. Like,
There's quite a few that I know. They might not brand themselves as township like influencers, but like the aesthetic is very like us.
Yeah.
You know, and they attract like a lot of like sponsors from
Campbell.
You know, it's like a lot. You know, I won't mention any names, but just like a lot of guys who use that aesthetic, you know.
Yeah.
So, man, I feel like we are in an age whereby you get paid for your ideas. You know, more than like the people. Maybe even it's been happening for a while that maybe we haven't been aware of it, because if you think about it, everything that's we see is an idea.
Of course, like
someone thought of it, like someone thought, you know, there'll be a fan, and this is what its function will be.
Well, yeah, they were like, we need to cool down. How does, like, what are ways we can do this? And then, but it's also, ideas also take from other ideas. It's always about, like, what's come before it, and then you see that, and you see that, and you go, those two things together can now solve our purpose. You know, like, the fan, you have a motor, and then you have the blades. You know, the two things are completely separate, but now it's
one thing,
you know, and also carrying it through also, because like I feel like that's not where it stops.
Just having an idea. We've all had lots of ideas.
How
many times have you told a friend about this idea you've got,
bro?
And it goes nowhere. The thousands of businesses that could have been started, right? But you know. But it's also we're not given the tools, like, necessarily, like, if you look at the way school is, you're not taught to be able to think for yourself, to be able to, you know, look at society and see, like, you know, jobs going or whatever, and now
and see opportunities.
Exactly. You're taught, like, I got told these things for this stuff, and now this stuff isn't valid anymore. What the fuck am I meant to do? Like, it's, I don't know, like, the way, like, that's, I struggle with this stuff because it's like, I just want society as a whole to be better. Like, so I don't necessarily want to blame individuals, but I do also understand that we as individuals have a lot of power. Like, but
in the whole grand scheme of things.
Of course, but different people have different levels of power and have also got different psychologies based on their experiences in life and have been built and broken in different ways. And so it's such a, like, tough conversation personally for me to have about that, you know, like, where it's like I do feel for people who are unemployed and feel like there's no hope for them, like, that they don't know what they can do. And I know, like, even myself with my skills and stuff, that at times I'm like, what can I really do? Like, you know, I see the way journalism's going, I see the way lots of things have gone, and it's like, well, fuck, how do I adapt? How do I, like, and I have those fears, you know, that, like, stuff isn't going to work out for me, that there isn't going to be a place for me in the future, you know, like, so I do kind of get, like, you know, cats on the streets, like.
Thinking like that,
What are some of your fears in terms of career?
I fear that I'll never make it, like, when I say make it, like,
I was gonna say, what do you mean by making it?
like superstar, like,
it's no small goals here.
No small goals, like 30 Grammys and Nobel Peace Prize, and then I'd like an Oscar as well. I'd like an Emmy as well. I don't know.
Just get the EGOT, eh?
I just want. I actually do want that. I really do want that, and just, it would really break me if I don't get there, and if I don't make it and I don't make this dream happen, because I feel like I got dropped on this earth to make this talent happen, and if I don't, I would have failed at the task.
I mean, is there a level of success below 30 Grammys that you would be happy with?
Yeah, okay. Maybe like plan B, but then like C and D, no ways. No, it's just two options: superstar and like fairly not superstar.
Yeah, like I think that is one of our biggest fears as creatives. It's just like
not all of us,
like, but one like the not making it is it's not being successful essentially.
Sure.
Yeah.
I guess some of us have different fears in terms of like what that means. You know, whether it's personal, whether it's public, whether it's for you, you want to be a superstar. You want that public level of success. It's not even just about being good at what you do. You want everyone to know it's kind of thing. And for yourself,
I don't necessarily feel like I have any fears with regards to my career.
I know, I hate chatting to you. You're so confident and you're so
I'm just being real.
We've always that's the thing, we've chatted for years now, and you're always just like, I'm doing this thing. This is how it's gonna work, and then I'm like, how do you like just know? And then you do it and it works, and I'm just like, fuck this up.
It's like
where's the self doubt?
No, I literally I don't know, man. Like I feel like from a kid, as I said, bro, like seeing myself say I want certain things and actually getting them, and even probably getting even more than what I had anticipated has given me the level of, saying I want things and having this belief that it will happen and not necessarily even fearing it not happening,
So for you, it's not even like a thing of like, I've succeeded at these things, so I know I'm going to succeed more. You've just always been like, no, I'm just going to succeed.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I'm going to have this level of success as an artist. I'm going to have this level of success in my finances. I'm going to have this level of success in my family and, and relationships in general, and that's it. Like, there's no fear in between. Like, it's written in stone. I've written it out. It's like, it's there. For sure.
I would love to have your brain for a day.
But trust me, it's...
Because, bro, like, me, like, in the morning, I'm like, I'm the shit. I'm like, I'm going to kill it. Like, these things, everything I'm going to do is going to work. Yeah. And then by, like, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm just like, I'm a failure.
No, doubt. The doubt definitely comes in, bro. Like, I think we talked about this yesterday.
Yeah.
About the fact that, I have this vision book.
Yeah.
Whereby like I'll give like a description of what I want to be at a certain age. Like I'm 27 now, so I have a description that I'm working towards. And I have no fear of not getting it because I just have that confidence in me attaining that that level at the stage that I'm at. So we have the self doubt. I have self doubt, bro. Like I'll probably write that down and then 3 days after.
Like, that's stupid.
Not necessarily. I'll look at one of the things. I'll look at one of the things. Or I'll probably reach out to someone I said I'd work with and they probably don't reply.
Like they leave you on red for a day and then you're like, oh fuck. But then like 2 days later they're actually like, hey, sorry bro, didn't check it. Would love to work with you.
Exactly. So it's happened so many times. If you could see it, you'd see me scratching out people's names and then putting their names back again because they somehow gave me hope that now we actually going to.
But is there anything more terrifying than sending like those messages to people when you want to work with them, when you want to do projects, when you when you want to like do proposal stuff? It's like, I'm working on a proposal for a residency at the moment, and it's just like every word is terrifying because it's just like, I just want you to say yes, please.
Please, that's all I'm trying to say in this proposal. Please say yes.
You know what I give myself.
You're just like they're gonna say yes.
No, not even. Like sometimes this is what
it's okay
makes
if they
me
don't.
calm. This is what makes me calm. Right? I'm focused. Like for me, as much as I'm about like, okay, this is what I want to do, and this is who I want to work with. But my end goal is something that I always keep in mind. It's like, that's where I'm trying to go. And maybe me saying I want to work with Rhea Blek isn't going to get me there. And that's why she's
so
not
it's okay
seeing
if
the
it
vision.
doesn't happen. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why she's not seeing what I'm seeing.
So
and that's
so you have the long-term vision, and there's other things that you put down, that you write down, that you're like, I would like this to happen. But if it doesn't happen, it's okay.
Yeah. So to make myself feel better, because I'm always trying to do that, bro. Like,
because you're still trying to. It's like, it's okay. This didn't happen now. We're still going forward to like
exactly,
because the grander vision is this.
Yeah, and just telling myself that maybe, just maybe, the person that I wanted to work with, that direction isn't going to take me there. I believe that I'm being carried to that. So maybe I just went off rail with going to work with that person. You understand?
Sure.
That's why I'm getting the treatment that I'm getting, because now I'm off the track.
Yeah.
You know, and I should.
So that's why it's not working.
That's why it's not
going to work for you.
Exactly. Like, bro, I have so many. These things are debatable, but for me, I choose to stick with things that make me feel better.
Yeah.
You know, like I hardly entertain ideologies.
Like
ideologies that won't make me feel better. You know, someone could say, for instance, they want to work with Rhea Blek, and she says she doesn't reply or whatever, and then feel bad about it. You know, for me, if I want to work with Rhea Blek and she says no, well, she doesn't reply or whatever the case may be, I'm like, cool, you know, but I still want to get to that level.
Yeah.
And as I said, maybe me working with Rhea Blek was taking me off track.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's just not the right time. Like it'll happen down the road.
Exactly.
Like,
that's the thing. But knowing me, bro, I'm very petty. I'll probably not work with her when
I've been everyone's
that's
like
me.
that.
Like that is.
like I'll probably not work with her, bro.
I remember you didn't reply to my message 7 years ago, and you sent me an email for something. And
I'm totally like
leaving you on red.
Yeah, like I'm petty. So I'll probably, even if I do work with the person later on, but like seeing them hit me up on
like,
some.
Now you want to work with me. Hey?
You know,
now I'm big enough, eh?
Exactly. You know, so for me that's just
so
the thing.
funny that we all like that. But I think that is just our egos as creators.
Yeah.
We're so touchy. Like it's like creative people are so sensitive. Like
Right. It's so funny when you think about it.
So yeah, I think that's gonna bring us to the end of this.
Oh man,
it's been so cool.
Nice. Yeah, a really nice chat.
Yeah, it was a really, really cool chat. I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much for your time, guys. And I'm stoked you had a good gig last night. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see how many more bills you do together in the future.
That was like quite an interesting thing, though, eh?
Yeah, like
really cool.
Being on the same boat.
It must be cool to at least be able to you know, go to gigs together instead of having to like go to separate gigs.
Yeah. It is much more better. Just like knowing that I don't have to travel from where I am to go to your side and make sure that I'm done with my performance before you perform first. So it was really convenient for us.
Yeah.
Cool. We'll chat about all of that down the road in a few years. But cool. Thank you very much.
It's all good, bro.